Today we're doing some spring cleaning and I came across this pile of 3D printed junk. Today we're going to go over that junk and decide what to do with it. So every 3D print has a little bit of waste just in the 3D printing process. But today we're going to talk about 3 different types of waste after the print's done printing. Now the first type of 3D printed junk is waste. Now you can see this pile of 3D printed waste is not very big, but it's basically little projects that you started and they broke, or dumb ideas. These are just bad ideas that we printed and abandoned. And in fact, most of these items I throw in the trash right away. Somehow these made it into the dumpster. Now the second type of 3D printed junk is better than the first. These are prototypes. You can see these are things that I printed over time and they actually turned out to be something that I use every day. A lot of these prototypes work for a while and then they break and I change the design and come up with something better. And now the third type of 3D print that's in my junk drawer is really what I'm calling retired prints. These are things like this. This is a TV holder where we had this really lightweight TV that we put it on the wall, and this print did its job. Thing about these prints is they've done their job, they've done their work, and they're no longer necessary. So the real question of the day is what to do with all this 3D printed trash. On one hand, I can't keep it here in the house. I just don't have enough space for it, and I don't really want to be a hoarder. I don't want to hold on to everything that I've made. On the other hand, I don't want to throw it in the landfill or throw it in the trash. That's also not a good option for me. So what do? Now there's a company out there that's actually asking the same question. It's called Loop 3D, and they're developing a desktop, basically 3D printed material recycler. And it recycles old filament like this. It grinds it up into really tiny pieces, and then it re-extrudes it back into regular filament. So how cool will it be someday when we can 3D print something? Maybe it's a toy for your kid or a tool that you need for a job. You can use it for a day or a week or a year. And then when you're done with it, you take that material, you grind it up, you make more filament, and then you can reuse it for something else. Now, this is a great idea, but the problem is it's kind of expensive right now. It's about $2,000 for this machine, and it's a little bit out of my price range. But someday I could see the price of all of this stuff coming down and 3D printing becoming kind of a standard in every house, almost like a microwave. Everybody will be using this 3D printers and almost having their own little home recycling system. So that's my hope. Hopefully someday, I think I will have one of those tools that will recycle filament, and I'll be able to kind of recreate my own filament. It will drive the cost of my hobby down so that it will be a little bit more affordable for everybody. So I don't have that device today. Someday I'll get it, but until then, I'm gonna keep some of this material so that I can use it in the future. So I came up with this, a 3-bin system. I would imagine that you can't mix and match material types in recycling, right? So for example, you can't take something that's made out of PLA and then recycle it and make new filament out of it with ABS. So here's what my game plan is. I have 3 bins. Most of the time I print with 3 different types of material. I print with TPU, I print with PLA, and I print with PETG. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically make my own little recycling storage system and keep this material for the future. Hopefully in the next couple of years, I'll be able to recycle my own stuff. Now here's the real challenge. Remembering what material is what. I know this is ABS and I almost never use ABS. So this will actually go into the trash can. TPU is gonna go at the top, PLA is going in the middle, PETG is going at the bottom. So I know for sure some of these things are TPU. That's the easiest one to pick out because it's flexible. Okay, we're all done sorting. You can see here, we had to expand the recycling system into bigger tubs. These are actually gonna go out into my shop in the back, kind of out of sight, out of mind. But you can see this is actually kind of a cool visual. This is PETG. You can see I print a lot of bigger pieces out of PETG. This is kind of my go-to material. The thing I really like about PETG is it holds up in hot temperatures. So you can take something like this, put it in a hot car and it won't deform. This is TPU. You can see TPU is a flexible material. And the thing I like about TPU is you can use it for different applications, right? And then finally, kind of surprisingly, this is the less used material, PLA. I don't use this all that often. Actually, I've come to like it a little bit more recently, but this PLA actually prints really easily, really well, and as long as you're not, going to leave it in your car to melt, then it'll be a pretty good part. So, PLA, TPU, PETG, these are going in the shop. This recycling system is going to go up here on the top of the fridge so that when I finish a print or throw a print away, it goes into this recycling and eventually finds its way out here. And then someday I'll have a recycler. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this inspires you to get creative with your 3D printing. And maybe someday we'll be able to recycle all that junk. Have a good day.